Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing the Try a Chapter tag with some of my most anticipated books that are on my physical TBR. The Try a Chapter tag, if you didn't know, is when you take 5 books, which I have here, and then you read the first chapter of them and decide which one you're going to continue on reading. It's basically just a good way to like dwindle it down. I think it's dwindle. I don't know. Anyway, just basically a way to get to the books that you are actually going to be like excited to read right off the bat, instead of books that you might have to like get into a little bit or like you aren't going to like right off the bat. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to show you the books, but I'm not going to go in depth onto what they're about, but I will once I've read the first chapter, just so this isn't like way long and way repetitive. So the first book I have is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I read her whole Lunar Chronicles and I really enjoyed that, so I thought I would read her other works. The next one I have is Brightly Burning by Alexa Dunn. I picked this up right when it came out at Barnes & Noble. And I have just been wanting to read it ever since. I just never picked it up. I think I'm just a little bit scared because it's supposed to be like, what, Jane Austen in space or something? Or Pride and Prejudice in space. That was it. And the reason I heard about this book is because I watch Alexa on BookTube, or I guess AuthorTube because she's an author. And I just really enjoy her like personality and like all of her videos, and I watch all of them even though I'm not a writer, nor do I ever want to be a writer. So I thought I'd support and like read her book, and I hope that I love it. But I don't know. I've never read Pride and Prejudice, so we'll see. Next book I've been really interested in ever since I saw it, and that is The Education of Margot Sanchez. I thought it was a pretty cover, thought it was a cool title. I'm excited to read it. The next two I have are ones that I just recently picked up, and that is My Name is Memory by Anne Brashares and The Enemy by Charlie Higson. This one's like a zombie thing, and then this one's kind of like Everyday by David Levithan, but like sounds better, so hopefully I'll enjoy that. But yeah, I'm really excited to read all of those, so I'm going to read the first chapter and then I'll get back to you on my thoughts. Hey guys, so it is the next day and I'm so proud of myself because I actually finished reading a chapter of each book. And this never happens. I literally have done this tag so many times and I just start reading a chapter of one and then I finish that book. So I restrained myself, okay, and I actually finished a chapter of each book. So I read these in the order that I showed you them, so that's how I'm gonna tell you about them. So the first one I read was Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I really enjoyed the first chapter of this book. Well, technically I didn't read the first chapter. I read like the prologue and then there was like a pre-prologue. But either way, it was really good. I would tell you what this book is about, but I honestly don't know. I have cat hair in my book. Thank you, Maisie. But I just know it's about like good guys and bad guys and like, I don't know, betrayal and like revenge and stuff like that. So it sounds really good. It's like a cast of characters in the beginning, like with everybody's like team and like what their powers are and like their names. And even just like that got me super like stoked to read this. And then there was kind of like a pre-prologue and a prologue, which I read, which I think sets up the story really well. I mean, I haven't read the rest of the story, but I can see like even just that got me excited. The prologue follows Nova, who is, I believe, one of like the bad guys. So she's with the anarchists and not the renegades. And it kind of is her origin story kind of, and like we get to see why she is the way she is, or like why she's gonna become the way she is. And so I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed it, and honestly I just wanted to keep reading the book, but I didn't, and I moved on to the next one, which was Brightly Burning by Alexa Dunn. This one I had a different experience with. I didn't love the first chapter. Like even just reading the first page I was like, wow, I feel really dumb because there's a lot of words I don't know what they mean. And then I'm like, oh, I can use context clues. And I'm like, no, because I don't know what those words mean either. So that's not helping me. But other than that, I feel like I would enjoy it. This is Jane Eyre, okay, not Pride and Prejudice. I'm so dumb. This is Jane Eyre, and so I honestly don't know. I get so confused when people are like, oh, the Bronte sisters, Jane Eyre, Jane Austen. I'm like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. I literally don't know what you're talking about. But this is Jane Eyre in space, if that means anything to you. But we start with our main character, Stella, and she's on a spaceship, or like an aircraft thing, I don't know. She's in space. on some vehicle, and she is like an engineer, but she wants to be a teacher and not an engineer, but she's really good at her job and stuff and other, I don't know. But she's really good at what she does, and there's not like a demand for teachers or something. I don't know. I don't really remember. But anyway, this was a kind of slower chapter. It was kind of just like meeting her, getting to know like kind of what she does and like her thought process, I guess. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed Renegades more, but I can still see myself reading this in the future. The next book I read was The Education of Margot Sanchez, and this one is about a girl. This one is about Margot, our main character, and she has a lot of expectations set on her. Her family kind of wants her to be like the golden child. She's in a private school. She's in a really expensive private school. She is expected to go to like an Ivy League college and just like be really well off. And so to do that, she thinks that she needs to fit in with the popular kids at her school, and so she starts doing things that aren't the best. So this book starts after she stole her dad's credit card to buy clothes, and so he's grounded her for the summer and has her working at his grocery store that he owns. And so she's not happy about that. She kind of just like hates life and everybody and just wants to be in the Hamptons, and she just wants to be in the Hamptons with her friends, but that's not how this summer's gonna go. This one's kind of the same as the last one. It was a lot easier to read, but it wasn't, not a lot like happened or anything, but enough happened that I'm still like intrigued. It's basically just the first chapter, her at the grocery store, they were having like a meeting, him telling her what she's gonna do and stuff like that. I think this one would be a quick read because it's like less than 300 pages, so we'll see about that, I guess. The next one I read was My Name is Memory by Anne Brasher. This one is about a boy who's reincarnated and he has memories of all of his past lives, and in each one of his lives he meets our main character, Sophie, or Lucy. He calls her Sophie. Her name's Lucy. And in each life they have a relationship, but then it ends badly. And so this starts with Lucy talking about how she's kind of just like infatuated with this boy who just kind of showed up 2 years ago at school, and everybody kind of doesn't know anything about him because he's pretty quiet and he doesn't talk to her, but she's still like kind of high-key obsessed with him. It's a pretty long chapter. I ended up listening to this on audiobook. It's like 26 pages, but I knew I would not read that. I'd just stop this video and not finish. But I can see this kind of going both ways, because they did meet and he kind of like freaked her out because he's kind of like intense. So I could see this being like really like weird, but also could be like really cute. I don't know. Reading the first chapter definitely made me not as excited to read this book. Let's just say that. And the last one I read was a really short chapter, and that was The Enemy by Charlie Higson. This one started with a kid being attacked by zombie parents, and then after he was taken away, you get to meet this big group of kids with like all the weapons and everything, and they're like hiding in a school, and so they're like the ones in charge of like all the other kids, and they're, I don't know. Again, it was really short, so I don't know exactly what's happening, but yeah, I could see this going, again, like both ways. Like, it could be like really like childish and kind of just like lame, but it could also be like a really fast-paced, like fun read. So who knows? But I know that this book is very heavy, and I don't know why, because again, it's not that many pages. But if I was gonna rank these in like what I would want to read first and like the most kind of versus like the least, I would say I'd want to read Renegades, like right now. And then I would go to The Education of Margot Sanchez, and then I'd probably go to Brightly Burning, and then The Enemy, and then My Name is Memory. So yeah, you'll definitely be seeing Renegades in my November wrap-up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you've read any of these books and your thoughts on them, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.